You are watching Melody Lane. With me, you're gonna have a great crafting time.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Making sure I'm live. Oh, I'm live. Don't need to hear me in surround sound, but oh, mute, please. Hello, crafty friends. It's like, sorry, I'm like looking. It's like weird light in the middle of my screen. How's everybody's Saturday going so far? Hello, Irma, Sue, Jamie, Kimberly. Hi, Jax. I don't know if you heard my cat, but he's like, hello. Meow. Hello. Just waiting for some more people to join in here. Ooh, hopefully it shows my screen right. It's being weird. I'm excited for today's card design. I only seen this one lady, and I will go over that when we go into it. But she did this really cool card design, and she called it Open to Pop card. But I think it's really neat, and you can use the base to make obviously any theme you want. But because Christmas is coming, the biggest card season, and we always need more Christmas card ideas, I'm gonna do it in a Christmas theme. Hello, Gloria. So happy to see you guys in here this morning. So, we're very excited. I just gotta say, shout out to our Crown Point Dogs football team. They just won their 4th consecutive year undefeated. So 4 seasons undefeated. They are amazing. So go Bulldogs. I know we have a couple local ladies that watch, so that is exciting. And before I forget, in the video description below, today is the last day to enter our giveaway. So the giveaway we have going on, you win $200 to spend at Cricut.com, but today is the last day. So you have till 11:59 p.m. tonight to go ahead and enter that. Good morning, Carmen. Hello. And good morning, other Kimberly. And leave in the comments too where you guys are coming from. And shout out to Vicky C, who I ran into in Gatlinburg, and she recognized me. So Vicky, if you're watching, I just want to say it was great to run into you and your scrapbook retreat girls. It's so funny when you're out, so many groups I had heard, even just like in conversation, like, oh, we're scrapbook group. It's funny, my husband heard them say they were scrapbook group, and he goes, I wonder if they know Cricut. And I go, they're scrapbook. Yes, they know Cricut. And then later on, they're like, oh, you're Holly. Bodfish, California. Ooh. Hope the weather there is nice. It's beautiful here. It's like 70. I can deal with that. It's supposed to rain, though, like a lot later on. But right now, it's gorgeous. Idaho, you're close to our Jamie. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump into Design Space, and I'm going to show you something new in Design Space with the images. The images are going to look different when you go into them, so we'll be able to show you that today. That just updated yesterday, too, in beta. So we'll go ahead and jump over there. There we go. Just want to make sure you guys can see the screen right here. Temps are cool today. Yeah, it feels fall, but not too fall out. I like it. A little crisp in the morning and then it heats up. Okay, so the card we're going to make, it's called Open Pop-Up. So these are the little mechanism pieces that I made. And I had to like finagle these because there was no quite easy way to do it. I had to create the whole piece and then slice some pieces out. So I'm going to set this over here, but then we're going to go build the whole rest of the card. So my sound dropped. I hope it stays. Hope it stays in. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to shapes, and we're going to go ahead and grab this piece. Should I show you guys the images first? Before I go in and making the whole base, let me go ahead and jump over to images first, because I want to show you guys the new, well, that's weird. The new image thing is not there now. Ah, there we go. Okay, so when you click on images now, you can see this looks a little different. It's just not giving you, before I think it gave you images that you were kind of like looking for, or images for you, but now it has all these different topics here. So, and which will change. You'll get all results, and usually when I was on here, it would show bookmarked too, but I'm not seeing that right there. Let's just go back here. Here we go. So when we don't type anything in images, at the top are going to be your bookmarked, and then you can click to see all, and then it's going to have different, the genre for you, and then different ones that will change. Like they have mandala images, simple to make, moderate to make, advanced to make, some autumn. Ooh, one I like, fantasy reality, because I see unicorns. It must know I love unicorns. Are these all unicorns? They are all unicorns. Design Space knows me, guys. Flower power, cowboy core. So like different things that are trending right then too. Tropic like it's hot. So you can go ahead and look at these, but if you want to get to the advanced search like we've had before, you can go ahead and click, let's type in say Christmas here. And then on all results, you're going to hit see all next to that. And then you can go ahead, this will show you how you previously seen the images, but you can hit advanced search also, and it will take you to where you can say see similar images and see the image sets. That's also how you get to the image sets. So you can still get to the same, you will just click on it different ways. And then if you want the image sets, you can go ahead and click here, which I did want to mention this too. When you're looking for Christmas images, if you're like, I don't know where I want to go, I just want Christmas, take a look at the Christmas image sets, because there's so many of them. And I just did this and looked through, and I was like, man, there is some super cute ones. The whole Christmas village, but there is a lot of Christmas image sets. Actually, it says there's 259. Holy cow. So we're not going to scroll through all of them, but as I did this, I was like, man, I could have done my card in these. These are so stinking cute. There's Christmas sloth. I just bookmarked a bunch of these because I'm like, how stinking cute is the sloth? You could do print and cut with these, and I could have totally done the theme of my card Christmas sloths. I did gingerbread because I love gingerbread and Christmas cookies, and I just think it's fun and festive. But how cute, guys, are these Christmas sloths? Oh no, Gloria, hope that you heal quickly from that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you definitely need to rest. Rest. And then look at these cute Christmas hedgehog ones. Look at this little one on the scooter with his little satchel of presents. These are so stinking cute. And I don't think I've seen these before. So going through Christmas image sets may bring up some things you just haven't seen when searching for Christmas. So just want to mention that. And then now we're going to go ahead and we're going to build this card design. And first I want to say this card, I want to make sure I get her name correctly. She's very talented. I see her. She does not have a YouTube. She doesn't have a YouTube, but she does reels and everything, and she does cards by hand, and she's very talented. And her name is Srushti Patil. And if you see any of her stuff, like, she does amazing work. I'm so impressed on those people that do it by hand too. By hand. So we're gonna go ahead and first, actually what I want to do is she does everything in centimeters. So I want to show how you, and I see a lot of this, a lot of different card makers, they might work in centimeters, and instead of not translating that, but switching that over to inches, it's much easier to just switch your canvas to centimeters and then go ahead and work that way. So I'm going to show you how we're going to go ahead and switch our canvas into centimeters. Right, Jamie? There's so many good Christmas images. And those, just looking at the image sets, I was like, wow, these are just, sometimes the ones don't come up in your search quickly. And it showed you a whole bunch of different ones I hadn't seen when I did that. All right, to switch to centimeters, we're going to go ahead here and we're going to go into our settings. And then we are going to click on canvas. And then on canvas right here under units, we're going to switch from imperial to metric. And then you can always switch back to when you're done. So I'm just going to switch that for this card. Now first, my base, I am going to make 24 centimeters by 16. So because I'm not keeping it square size, I will hit the unlock here. Hold on, let me move my computer down so I'm not reaching up to design the whole card. That might be easier. Ooh. There we go. Yep. And before we do this, because we get this question a lot too, you can go into settings, into the canvas, and then here you have canvas grid. We get lots of questions where people are like, I can't get the whole grid. You can go ahead and click on here to change your grid. Which do you guys like partial? I usually like the full grid. But then you can go ahead and hit done there. And then you also, right here, is it's like a hidden button to go ahead and change your grid, but it's right between the 0 and the 0. And you can go ahead and rotate through those options there also without doing it in the settings. Hello, I dropped it. Hello, Annie, how are you? How is weather in Deutschland? Oh. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go to shapes. I'm gonna grab this square here and then we're going to unlock it and make this one 24 inches. For those who are just joining us, we are making a really neat card design. It is not mine. I got it from somebody else, the base. Well, the base I did. And I have only seen it done by this one lady. So, and it's very neat. I was like, ooh, love the way it opens. All right, so we made this 24 by 16, and if you're just coming in, I switched to centimeters for this. Oh, yeah, okay, gotcha. All right, and I am going to, I'm just gonna go ahead and make this gray, which I don't think I'll use that as the final color, but I like using it because you can see what you're doing on it. And we're gonna go ahead and grab a score line here. I don't have to worry about centering it. I just need to get it the length I need. Then I can go ahead, grab my mouse over both of those. And now to get to a lot of our little functions here that we don't see along the top, you are now just going to hit the edit button. And then I'm going to hit align, and I want to center, nope, not center vertically. I want to center horizontally. There we go. So then it went and put the score line in the middle. I'm gonna go ahead and drag my mouth. I do that all the time. I'm not dragging my mouth. I'm dragging my mouse over both of those. And now we have this little action belt underneath here too. So I can go ahead and hit attach by using the paper clip here. So it's gonna show you underneath what options you have. So here I can group, I can attach, I can duplicate, or I can delete. Now, if I had an image that I could flatten, I would have a flatten option too. But for this, we're just going to go ahead and attach. That was weird. Why did it change the color? Okay. Well, that was weird. It changed the color. I just changed it back. Yay, Annie. Doing good. Yay for nice and sunny. Yay for nice and sunny. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and rotate my card because we're gonna actually use it because it's going to open up. Okay, now we have that piece. I'm gonna go ahead and make a couple more pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a square again. Change it to my gray. And then unlock, and this one I'm going to make 12 centimeters by 2 centimeters. Glad you guys cannot hear my husband snoring. He's on midnight, so he's sleeping. 12 centimeters by 2 centimeters. And then let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit here on that. And you do want to go ahead and butt this right all the way up to the edge because we're going to use the XY axes to put the score lines. So we'll go ahead and grab a score line. Go ahead and shrink this down. I'm really excited to make this card. Like when I seen it, I was like, oh, that is so cool. The way it opens. All right, we're gonna go ahead and duplicate this because I'm gonna need 2 of them. And then for this, I need to put it 2 centimeters from the edge. So this one here, I'm gonna go ahead and click on. And now to get to those XY axes, you guys will go ahead and hit the pencil. Hello, Jeanette. Glad to have you join us. And then here is where I can go ahead and put my position. I want it exactly on 2. Oops, 2 there. And then this one I can click on and I want it 2 centimeters from the edge. So I could either just flip this over after attaching that and put it 2 centimeters over, or you can just figure out what 2 centimeters from the edge was. And this was 12 centimeters long. So I want to put this at 10. There we go. And now we can go ahead and attach this. And I'm actually going to need 2 of these. So now I can go ahead and duplicate it, which you can, there's options, right? So you can go ahead and double click right and then choose from here. Or now you can right under here, I can just hit this button here and I can just duplicate it without having to hit any additional buttons, which I love that part. All right, now that we have that, we are going to make a little piece to fit in right here just to like thicken it, to give it more support. So we're going to go ahead again, grab a shape, make that gray, unlock, and we're going to go 8 centimeters by 2 centimeters. Just make sure as you type in, as you see, as I delete it, like once I delete all this, I'm not done, the 0.001 comes up, so then go ahead and just fully get out of that too. All right, now we have this piece, which is gonna fit perfectly right there, but we do need 2 of these too. So see, I'm so used to just clicking and then duplicate, but I don't need to do that extra button. I just gotta hit that. So I do it, I'm like, wait, I don't have to do that anymore. The license plate changes. What does that mean, Kimberly? Do your license plates change in fall? I know, I can't imagine living where there's no fall colors. So sad. All right, square at 10 centimeters. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and make another piece here. Again, grab our square. And unlock. Now, if I was keeping it square size, I don't have to unlock, but because I'm making them rectangles, I do have to. Oops. 18. This one's going to be 18 centimeters by 8 centimeters. Change that color. There's a lot of colors on my material colors because I finished the card and I have it hidden. That's why there's so many. And then with this, again, make sure I get it butted up all the way over to the 0 axes. And we are going to score at 10 centimeters. So I'm going to grab another score line. And I hope this card opens like it should. I have all the faith. This card maker is a really good, she has such good designs. All right, and to line that, we'll go ahead, hit edit, go to our X axes here. I'm gonna put that at 10. Just a little long, I'm just gonna shrink it down a tiny bit. This doesn't really matter if your score line goes over, as long as you're not cutting next to it, right? Which, if your score line goes over a tiny bit, usually there's not a piece there, so you don't have to worry about it. But we'll go ahead and attach here. So we'll just choose here, attach, and then we're gonna actually duplicate this too, because we're gonna have 2 of these pieces. And when you do this, I'm gonna go ahead and flip this. So the larger piece, you can see this as a smaller side and a larger side. The larger side is going to be on the outside on both of those for the card. Now, we're going to go ahead and make some matte pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and matte this piece. So I'm going to use offset for that. And we're going to drag to the left of the center dividing line so it's an inset and not an offset. And then depending on how much matte you want, I think that looks good, about the 0.42. I'm going to go ahead and apply that. So we have that matte piece done. These pieces we want to go ahead and matte too, and I like to keep the distance the same. And what's awesome is when you go to offset, it automatically kept those same settings you just used. So we can apply there. And then I can do that again over here. I could just take this and duplicate this also. Which, as you've seen, I hit my mouse to go to these, but I could just duplicate it right here. Like, I'm still retraining my brain on that. I could just flip that. So there's two different ways. There's always usually a couple different ways to get to what we're trying to get to. I know, the side tool panels too. I totally get that. Totally get that. And I close it and then I just open it up again. So sometimes I just leave it open. Other times I'm like, I just close it after every move. And I'm like, why am I doing that? But hello, Cheryl. Holiday, Florida. That seems like it should be a happy place to live. I don't know where Holiday is, I don't think. Oops. I'm just going to go ahead and group these together here. So to group those, I can just drag my mouse over both and then select group here, or you can go ahead and right click and then hit group up here also. Or you can do Command G. So you see there's many different ways here to do like one move. So whatever works for you, I say go with. Okay, we grouped that. Now what I want to do is I want to bring these over. I have to do another matting piece, but to figure out how the size, I need to go ahead and get these in place. So I'm going to ungroup these first. Group that together. Now I'm going to bring this over to the side here. I'm going to go ahead, right click and bring it to the front. And I am just going to look at my picture real quick and make sure I get this in the right place, because that is super important. Okay, we are putting, group this one. Now you can't see, these are little matting pieces. If I change this color here, you'd be able to see, which I can, let me change it to gray. You can see that these little pieces here are gonna show, so that's just little matting pieces. I'll go ahead and change this one to gray too. That way all the pieces are the same color. Now I will end up changing these matting pieces to the pattern I'm going to end up using. All right, so we are going to take this and let me ungroup this real quick because I want to get these pieces in place right. These little offset pieces, I just want to make sure I get the spacing right. There we go. Group that. Now when we bring this over, we want the middle of the triangle right here to go ahead and be on the score line. But half of it, this is going to be folded over, so you're not going to have this on this side here, but we just do it like that. So you bring it right over to the edge, so it's lined up with that edge, and then the middle of the score line will be right there. Oop. Undo. Group. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Let's bring this to the front. Oh, yep, I understand completely. This is one of those cards I'm gonna have to put together so you understand how it works. When I build it, you can kind of, like when I get it all done, you can kind of, when I explain it, we'll be able to understand it some. Save. Good point. Thank you. All right. Then we have this here. I'm going to go ahead and group these together. Same with this side. So I'm going to drag my mouse over both of those. And okay, right to the edge of that. All right, now this piece is going to go right like here. So it's going to, this is going to be folded over, this piece here. So this is going to go, we're going to put where it's equal or even at the bottom here. And then butted up against the score line here. Which I'm going to have to move this over, so I'm just going to drag that all. And we're going to move it over some. And then we're going to bring this one up and do the same thing. Now this is for assembling it, but I'm just putting it here so you can kind of see how it goes together. And the same, so we're going to line it up at the bottom here and then the score line. Now once we've done that, we can figure out what size of piece to put in the middle. So we can go to shapes, grab another square. I know it'd probably be cool if I showed you the card first, but it's not my video, so I don't know if I can do that. I said whose it is, real, but, well, and then you get the surprise when you watch Tuesday, when you get to see it like made, and then you can see how it actually opens there. So for this piece, we want to leave a little border around it. We're going to go ahead and unlock it, drag it, and I want it to be the same thickness here, or same thickness, come down as much as these do. Which I can't align these, the top, so I'm going to click here and click on this group, and then I'm going to align the top. There we go. Shrink that down. Which you can too, if you wanted to get the exact measurement, I can click on here, get the offset, and that will tell me the height is 7.15. So I can go ahead in this and make this, it'll match perfectly if I make it 7.15. All right, so we have our middle piece done there, and then we just need, or does that go all the way to the bottom? Let me check here. Yeah, and then we're going to go ahead and, this is a different color, dark here, but we can change that material colors. We can go ahead and drag this black there, and then they're all the same color. And we just need to go ahead and make a matte piece to go ahead and fit right here. So go to shapes. We are using the square a whole lot. You can build so much with just shapes. This piece we're going to cut, let's see, 15.5 by 1.5. And I want to make this, well, I did when I made it yesterday. Let's see if it still looks good if I make it the same size. I swear, if you do the project and you do it again, it's like always something a little slightly different. 1.5. All right, this piece here will go there. And the matting piece underneath, I'm actually not going to use. I'm just going to use the top, but I'm going to keep it because that way I have the outside and the inside done. And then we need one more piece. I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this one. See, I went to hit my mouse, but I was like, wait, I can use that button underneath. Oh, coffee. I haven't been able to drink coffee lately, but I am enjoying my hot tea so much. All right, we're gonna unlock that. And this one we're gonna make 11.5 by 2.25. And then this will be the matting piece that is gonna go up here. So I'm gonna go ahead again, I just wanna drag these to the same color. Now we've made all of the base pieces. We are actually done with base pieces at this point. Now we're gonna go ahead and start adding decorations, images for that, and we're gonna do print and cut Christmas paper for the matting. So I'm gonna go to images here, go to all results, and I don't know, what do you guys type in when you want like Christmas printable backgrounds? I type in Christmas patterns. And then here I'm gonna hit see all, or you can just scroll through here too and see many, but I like them larger. Kimberly, Jamie, I might just drink it right from the pot. You need an IV of coffee. We were in, I don't know if it was Gatlinburg or when we were in Savannah, but I seen a shirt and I was like, oh, my daughter needs that. And it was something about like, I'll take my coffee by IV. Okay, and for this, I wanted to do Christmas gingerbread and like Christmas cookies because I think they're cute and festive, and who doesn't love them? But I do want to do two different, I'm going to use, well, actually 3 different Christmas backgrounds. I'm not going to do all the matting in the same pattern. So for gingerbread, I love this one, which I think is cute. So we're going to use that. Then I used, what else did I use? I know I did stripes. But I'm going to go ahead and filter here because I want to see my bookmarked ones. So you can also get to your bookmarked by filtering there. Yeah, gingerbread just make me happy. They're just cute. All right, I'm going to use this candy cane one. And I'm going to use a stripe one. I don't know if I used... Oh, it definitely wasn't that one. If you've seen, this one's a full print and cut, where this one is just a basic cut. Now you could flatten it to the background and then make it a print and cut, but when you see those grid marks going through, you know it's not a full, it's not a print and cut. Like that. Okay, so we have our pieces here. Now we are going to go ahead and slice these. So first I'm going to go ahead, this matting in here, I am trying to decide if I want to duplicate it. There we go. Scroll up. We'll resize that in a minute. But I'm going to do these 2 different mats. So I do want to go ahead and contour. So I'll just hit edit. Oh, it's grouped together first, so I will ungroup that. Now I can go ahead and hit contour. If you've seen before, contour was not lit up, but that's because I had it grouped. So I'm just going to hide one here. And now when you contour, make sure you hit apply. And now I'm just going to duplicate that. See, I'm still hitting the right. I go back and forth. I'm going to contour, and now I just need the other side. So I can click that off and then hit apply. If you don't hit apply, it's just going to go back to how it was. So now that we have these 2 pieces, close that down. We are going to use these on the gingerbread. I'm going to use this for the bigger piece, and you can just drag it to how big you want your pattern. I'm going to go ahead and send that to the back. I like to go ahead and kind of get an idea, but you can always undo it. If you don't like where it slices, you can undo it, but I like to pay attention to my pattern and how I think I want it framed when I slice it. And I always duplicate again before I slice, just because I like to make backups of anything in case I need it. And then here we're going to slice, so we can go ahead and hit edit, select slice. Delete that. And that's cute. So we have this piece here, but because we have 2 of those, I'm going to just duplicate it, and then we have each side. Now we are going to move on over to this one here. And this one we are going to use candy canes for. Yep, thank you guys. Save. Need a drink of water. Yeah, and you're going to want the same size. Exactly right, Sue. So you don't want to try to resize and get that again too. So when I resize my print and cut, that's a really good point I want to mention. I always do a duplicate and save it. That way I have the exact size of the pattern. Thanks for mentioning that. And then the candy canes here, it depends how busy you want it, how big you want them. I think I want it a little bit bigger. Let's go ahead and drag our mouse over both of those and slice. Oh, I forgot to duplicate it. So I'm gonna go back, undo. I do this all the time. I'm like, wait, I didn't duplicate it. Go ahead, duplicate that in case you need it. Then go ahead and slice. Right, Sue? There's so many cute patterns. And then you don't have to go buy all the paper. You just make your patterns over and over. And again, we're going to duplicate that. So we have those pieces there. Let's go ahead and kind of put these in place. Now these pieces here, I have not put together. These are going to go underneath here. This piece is going to go tucked up underneath and glued. So it's going to glue to these pieces. And that's part of what opens. So when you open the lid, you're going to lift the lid open. And then these are going to like open up and pop out. Unfold. If that makes sense. So we can go ahead and drag this one here. Make that down a little bit. This one's going to go over here. And then our candy canes here and here. And the center one here, I'm going to put my sentiment on. So I am just going to make this white for now. And then we can go ahead and put our sentiment on there. Close to Tampa. Lots. Oh, okay. You probably got gorgeous weather now. Thank you guys for the thumbs up. We greatly appreciate when you give us a thumbs up or a comment or a share. Okay, now we need to make our, for all these matting pieces, we need to slice. Let me ungroup this first and pull that up. So I want this piece, and I want to click and attach all these mat pieces so when I slice through, it will complete the pattern. So I need this matting piece down here. Let me put it in place. This matting piece, this matting piece, and then let me ungroup those. I'm going to ungroup these because I want to get these little matting pieces here too. So this slice result, I can go ahead and make, there's so many options of what dark color it is. Hope that matches. And then this one over here too. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and attach all these. So I'm going to click each one. And then hit edit, and I want to weld all these pieces together because otherwise I'm gonna have to slice each one separately through the pattern, but if I weld it, I'll be able to do it all as one. All right, now we have that piece here. I'm gonna bring this down for a second so I can look at it. Bring these over. Hide those. The weld result. I just don't need that back piece to... Oh, it made the whole thing. Did it weld the whole thing? Oh, I did weld the whole thing like that. Okay. Oh, I hope I didn't save. Did I? I didn't save, did I? Maybe I did. It's not letting me unweld it all. Which is funny. It wasn't too far off. I just needed to take that back piece and not weld it because, well, there's two pieces. It's hard to explain right now. There's two pieces just like this, top and bottom. I was just going to hide the bottom one and then I could just duplicate that one. But this is already welded. So let me show you what I would do without that. And then I'll show you the piece. We're going to use this stripe here. So just drag it how you like it. I think when I did it, I ended up elongating it some. But it just depends how you want it. And then hit edit and then slice. Ooh, actually, let me undo that. Duplicate, then slice. Usually I unite to make sure I have it right before I do the rest. Now that made that all weird. Had I done it correctly, let me... Oh. Yeah, see, it made it all this one piece. That's what we didn't want to do. If I took that back piece out, it would have been perfect. I would have had the piece down here, the piece up here, the top piece, and then these little side pieces. And then those would have sliced perfectly. But we don't want to go through creating all those again. So I'll show you what it looks like with the mat after we go ahead and finish getting our images here. Yeah, I wonder if it will just let me see if I go back far enough, if it will let me undo that. Because you see I couldn't undo weld, which I didn't save. Usually weld is okay until you save it. Let's see how far back we can go. Undo, undo, undo. Yep, that's welded. Watching to see if my weld result disappears. Okay, it did. It did. We are unwelded. So just undo, undo, undo. Now, if you had saved it, we could not undo. But thankfully we could. First, I'm going to go ahead and contour this because I'm going to duplicate the one piece, but I don't need it right here. It's going to... Oh. And see, I wasn't used to hitting that apply. If you've seen what I just did, I was like, wait, it's still there because I did not hit apply. All right, now I can show you how to do this correctly. Thank goodness for the undo button. Can't we all say that? All right, this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece. Now I'm going to weld them. Actually, I'm going to undo that just because that one piece came down tiny bit there. Undo, undo. There we go. Move that like that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do this. Select those same pieces. And weld. Still need to move it just a little bit up. That works there. You just don't want it to overlap because then when you cut through, when you slice through your pattern, it's not gonna give you the right shapes there. So now we can weld. There we go. Now we're gonna take this piece, shrink that down, and bring this over and then size this however we want. Depends if you want how big you want your stripes here. And then just drag your mouse over all of it, edit, and slice. And I should have kept that size. Let me go back. Let's do this again. Oh, the slice is already there still. All right, go ahead and duplicate that. And here's a question, guys. When you do this, when you duplicate, do you like to do Command D or Control D? Do you like to right click? Or are you already in the habit of just hitting the duplicate and the little belt on the bottom? Okay, I do have that duplicated. And then slice. That we can delete. Those are our back pieces. I just keep those in case I want to slice through something else. Now we bring this up. Now we can see our matting. Oh, that makes me feel so much better. Which you won't see it in the exact right spot. You can go ahead and contour it if you want, which I'm going to do that. I'm going to duplicate and then contour because I need another piece of the top. So I can hit hide all contours. And I've noticed with the contours lately, it used to be the top one. If you hit hide all contours, it would still show you your top one, which lots of times was the biggest piece. But I found now it's actually never usually the top one nor the biggest piece. So you do want to mention that. So I want this one so I can click that. Then I can go ahead and click off this piece and then hit apply. That way I will have one for the front also. But you can contour these out. That way you can move them exactly where they need to be. Which I am going to do that. I'm going to hide that one. And get those in place. And then I'm just going to duplicate this one. And this one will go there like that. All right, now we just have to go get all of our little decorations and the middle. Hi, Stamp Hap. I right click, I just hit the duplicate button. Yep. And what's funny is like I do all three. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I do the command, sometimes I right click. It's just like depends on the moment. All right, so this is the base of the card done. So from this, obviously if you didn't want Christmas patterns, you could use whatever you want. But from this base, you can make this really cool card and you can turn it into whatever you want. But let's go ahead and grab some images here, and we are doing gingerbread. See all. And I love though, let's look back at this, how when I search gingerbread, that's really cool. It shows you all results, but it can show you the gingerbread and mandala images, or the simple to make, moderate to make, the fantasy. They got gnomes. I know I was thinking about doing gnomes too because I do love gnomes. The cowboy core, oh my gosh. Look at the little, that is so stinking cute. Look at the cowboy gingerbread. These are adorable. How cute is that? Okay, so love that. Now let's go ahead and do see all for all results. And for this, it depends if you want to do print and cut, which print and cut obviously is easy, but I do like to do the layered pieces. So when I'm looking for my gingerbread, I'm going to look for one that doesn't have too many layers or too many small pieces in the layer to go ahead and put together. Love this one. Oh, this one didn't come up when I was looking yesterday. I wonder if there's a boy for that one. But I do like this for the front, so I'm going to go ahead and add this as an image. And we'll play with this later. But you can look for a while on here. Obviously, simple ones like this would be easy. You could go ahead and add a back layer to a solid color. But I love the gingerbread in the little coffee mug. Yeah, so true, Sue. If you don't want to design this, you can go ahead and all of our Patreon members will get access to this project. This one's pretty close to what I did, but I want to go ahead and look at my bookmarked. It's weird. I guess I didn't. I'm gonna type in Christmas gingerbread because that's what I typed in yesterday. And I'm looking, found the perfect one, and then I duplicated it. Well, I can't find the exact ones. I will find those in a second from my other project, but I also wanted to do Christmas cookies. I was going to do 2 Christmas gingerbread and then 2 Christmas cookies for our pop-out pieces here. Which I think I did a tree. See my bookmarked. I think I did one of these, which if you go ahead and you look at the different layers of this, I'm not sure if that's what I ended up using or not. It's pretty easy. It's got the brown back layer, green, these 3 red dots for that, and then the white piece with that cut out. So this would be actually pretty easy to put together. So just something to look for when you're looking for different ones to use. I gotta look at my picture. I'm like, I don't remember what I used. I don't want to look at me. Oh, I didn't use that. I used a candy cane. Christmas cookies, candy cane. I'm gonna undo my bookmarked. Okay, this one here I use, so I'm gonna add that. And again, sometimes there's like images I like better, but to build it by layers, sometimes they're just too small pieces. So I always look for ones that can go good. But I like this background, so I don't want to take up too much of the space because I still want to see the cute gingerbread in the background. And then Christmas cookies. I did a Christmas tree too. There's so many of them. Let's see if I got my bookmarked. Usually I'm really good about bookmarking. Sometimes I bookmark and then unbookmark. But for instance, let's just say we're going to add this one here. Which isn't the exact one, but we can get to that. We're going to add gingerbread, which I'll go find those for my project in a minute. But let's go ahead and work on the sentiment here. So in the center, I want to do gingerbread. I love the saying gingerbread wishes. Wait, gingerbread kisses. Gingerbread kisses and Christmas wishes. Which I'm going to do print and cut for this. You could go ahead and cut these out of vinyl if you wanted to. Or you could do paper. But I'm going to shrink that down. And we're getting close, guys. I don't know what time it is. Oh, we're coming up on an hour. Kimberly, I will be putting this card together on Tuesday. Gloria, so Unite does act like well does. It brings your pieces together. However, it doesn't, like if you want to slice through, say you put a bunch of pieces together, unite them like I was doing, but I wanted to slice through that one print then cut, I would have to do each piece individually. When you weld it, it makes it as one piece, and then you're able to go ahead and slice through using that. And also the little trick I showed before when you want to contour, but there's no contour available, when you take like say a little circle and just contour it so it hides your piece, you have to weld that together and then be able to contour. If you just unite them, it won't give you the option to, it won't make it contourable either. But I always say do unite when you don't have to weld, just till your design's done, and then go ahead and weld once everything's done. That's how I like to do it anyway. And then I think I did on this, I did change out, You could go ahead and hide. Say I don't want this cookie here, which I know I changed this cookie, and I believe I changed this gingerbread out. But we'll go ahead and show that. And if you want to change the color in this too, say you wanted the gingerbread a different color, you could go ahead. It's not. There we go. If you wanted the words, you know, wishes, any of these, you can change the color too. Just go in here and change the color before you flatten them. I think I had another Christmas cookie. It's always fun to do it a second time and see what little things change. So you wanted this cookie instead. You could go ahead and change it out and put it here. And rotate it or whatever. But I do like to leave room too to go ahead and put your sentiment on there and write, you know, from the family or whatever. And you can too. Do you guys ever, when you do cards on the inside like Christmas, do you write by hand the rest or do you like let it draw? Because you could, if you think about it, you could upload everybody's signatures, whole like auto pen type thing. You could upload signatures and have it say, you know, love from our family to yours, the Kleins or whatever, and then have each name signed. Do you do that by hand or do you let it draw? Because you could do either. And if you have a ton to send out, the draw feature would be great. I know some people have a ton of cards they send out instead of, which that is expensive. Oh, there. But we can go ahead and then flatten all of this to that. So we can grab the Christmas cookie, shift, grab that. And I'm trying to grab that white piece. It's so close, it just keeps turning. There we go. There we go. And now we can flatten. Now you see that different option shows up here. And this is the flatten. So that's going to make it print then cut. So once I hit that button there, this is now going to go ahead and print for the center. Jamie says, I let DS draw everything. Sue signs by hand. Sue said, hi, Luce. Thanks, Lori. I'm super excited to put it together. I'm super excited to see it come together. And I hope it works like I saw in the video. Or not in the video, but the reel. All right, let me go ahead and save this real quick. And then all we have left to do, which I'm going to show you the gingerbread pieces I chose for here, is go ahead and do our front piece. So I'm going to look for a Merry Christmas. And I was going to cut this out of paper, so something I look for is not just the individual letters. I look for it, which I think this is the, it looks a lot like that, but that's not quite it. I go to bookmarked. And this is the one I used, but we're going to change this just a little bit. So I want the Merry Christmas here, but I do not want the holly on there. So I'm going to unholly it. Oops. Weird. Oh, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and bring this down for a second here. All right, so with this, I want to go ahead and hide the holly. So I can just go ahead and hide it, or you can delete it. And then I did contour this too, because I wanted to move the letters some. So I can go ahead and click on the Merry Christmas here, then hit contour. And I want to just get these words separate. So I'm just going to hide on this one, hide all the pieces for the top word. Oh, see, I didn't hit apply. That's new, guys, so make sure you hit apply. Apply. There we go. And then I'm just going to duplicate it. Where did we go? And then on this, we're going to, I'm just going to hide all contours. That way we get just the Mary. Oh, I did the opposite. Because I didn't hit apply. I was going to say we should count how many times I do not hit apply. It's brand new. This is my first day doing that, so it's going to happen several times. Now I will hit apply. Now we have the Mary and the Christmas, but you just have to ungroup them so you can move them separately. And then you can go ahead and put those wherever you want and size those. And I had my little cute mug up here. A little gingerbread mug. So I'm going to go ahead and bring those over. And then let me change these to, say, red. And then what I want to do with this is I want to offset the whole thing. So I'm just going to go ahead, drag my mouse over all three. You can just go to offset. I always like to group before I do that. Thanks, Kimberly. Lots of times you find like the sediment, but it just doesn't fill your space right, you know, or something, or you need more space, or you want to stretch it out. So I love being able to break it apart. The other one I first showed, I said, oh, this is similar font. It was just like this, but the words were like connected, so you couldn't separate that. But this one you could. And then this one with paper is pretty easy because as we contoured, we see like the ERRY, that's all one piece, you know, and then the Christmas, you get, I think, CHR. And then there's only a couple pieces here. I think it was 3 pieces for the Christmas and 2 pieces for the Mary. So it's easier to lay those words when they're connected. So I love script cursive for that instead of the individual letters. If you want to do individual letters on this, I just recommend using vinyl or iron-on because it's much easier than trying to place individual letters perfectly straight and spaced and all of that, all of that stuff. But let's go ahead and offset this. Now we're going to drag it to the right of the divider line. And my first offset, I like to try to make it not too busy shape around it. Like as you get smaller, it's just like more bumpy. So I try to drag this one a little bigger. And don't worry if there's centers in the middle, like right there, you can see it's not gonna, we're gonna contour that out so it fills that in. So we can go ahead and hit apply. Make that white. And then as you see, it has that little hole in the middle, so we'll just contour that. Hide that. And then we have a solid piece. And then I just think it looks good to put another offset on it, so I'm going to add another one. But I want this one to be not as thick, so I'm going to drag this down some. And then hit apply. And I'm thinking I'm going to do this probably like silver glitter, because I think it needs some sparkle, guys. Go ahead and group that and then resize it. And then put that on the front there, which you could too. I'm thinking silver glitter for that. And then the Merry Christmas would look gorgeous in red Cricut glitter cardstock. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Thank you, Peggy. So happy to see you here, Peggy. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Remember, hit the thumbs up for us. That helps greatly. Appreciate the comments. And we have finished the whole design there. Oh, but we didn't get our little gingerbread guys. We're missing 2 spots. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the card I already did. You'll see it'll kind of look similar. I have a different tree. And then this sentiment here, it just depends how you size it and place it because it's just shaped a little different in mine. So I can delete that. Just going to go ahead and clean up my canvas here for a second before I show you these. I am going to group those and put print and cut patterns, and I'm going to go ahead and hide that. All right, so we've seen this one. Now let's go to my finished one. Let's see how different it is. Finished card. Here we go. Voila! Minus this weird stuff that moved there, which was not there before. Just gonna ungroup that and pull this out of the way. I grouped and grouped and grouped these. There we go. I'll go ahead and delete that. Oh, undo. Delete, delete. Aha, that was the piece for the other. There we go. That looks better. Oh, the little green. Kind of looked cute. The little green holly coming behind the mug. All right, there we go. Now we can regroup it. Now we have it. So that there, and then these are the gingerbread. Hold on, I'm just trying to move this out of the way now. I'm like, wait a minute, now I have that overlapping. Overlapping. I'm trying to figure out how to group this without... Nope, it's going to grab it all. Alright, I'm just going to move this out of the way so we can see here. There we go. Okay, now here is the finished card I did. And this one here... Wish I had the actual one I used of this. Because I did change this a little bit. I sliced it through. It won't be able to... When I save this, I'm going to show you how I changed this. Because it wanted me these little red balls. It wanted you to put those each on by hand. But I ended up slicing through. So what I did was I took the green layer, sliced through the red layer, and then the red layer will be behind it. And then you'll have the holes cut out for the red. But that is that. And then I did add a little sentiment here down on the bottom. I just used that with text. Typed it, and then I did a writing font, which I do have it set to writing here. You do want to make sure up here if you're doing writing, you select writing. Wishing you the sweetest. You. The sweetest of holidays. And if you notice, I did spell wrong. Spell checker is in Design Space, but it's not in it right now, which usually means they're like working on it or something. So don't count on it right now. I was doing something yesterday and I misspelled, and I was like, oh wait, the spell checker's not here. But then you can go ahead and change the font too to whatever you like. I like to go with my bookmarked, and then I want a cursive one. Say Farmhouse Christmas. And then you can change your pen too, obviously. Now you can do this one of two ways. You can flatten it and then it'll just print and cut this. But if you want this to be, say, drawn, then you would attach it as a pen. So say we want to do this in pen. Then you would go ahead, click that, this piece, and then you would hit attach. Then it's going to do it in pen. Otherwise, just hit flatten. You can hit flatten now, and it's just going to make it all print and cut. Oh, I was over there. I was like, where did I go with mine? Some ginger snaps. Thanks, Jamie. So yes, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will go ahead and put this card together. I'm going to go ahead and cut all the base beforehand and make sure it goes together. Let me go ahead and save. Just going to save this here. Wouldn't it be cool if we could bookmark an image from once we have it on the canvas? I'm just thinking that because I was like, man, if I could bookmark this and then go to it. But I'm going to go to my stuff. Now I can bookmark it from here. But if you ever need to see what images, just go to your project. It'll show you there, and then you can go ahead and bookmark them. which I did think this mug was cute too. I did do a second one with this mug instead. So there's actually 2 options I had done. But I just want to show this this Christmas tree, and then we are all done, guys. I know we're just over an hour here. There we go. Now if we look at it, you can see this image here, this layer right here is all these little red dots, but we don't want to glue. If you want to glue all those little tiny dots on, you totally can. I, however, do not want to. And sometimes they're like teeny, teeny, tiny. So what I did was I took my green layer here and I took my red layer, which let me first ungroup, because remember, if they're grouped, we can't do it. And it looks like this is still grouped. So make sure you ungroup all the way. One more time. There we go. Now we have them each individual and they're not grouped together. So I just want to take the green layer and the red layer and we're going to slice through. But you could subtract also. Now we have that. We can duplicate that. Hide all contours. Apply. Don't forget apply, guys. Make that layer red. Oops. Bring this to the front. And these green ones I can go ahead and delete. Now I have my back piece here. The red we're going to send backwards. And then the green send backwards. And now you've built it and you don't have those little pieces to put on. And I thought it'd probably be really cool too if you had like little rhinestones or something and you could go ahead and set them in those little spots. Ooh, you know what else would be cool? You could put glitter glue, because these are going to be cut out, remember. So you can go ahead and take and put some glitter glue in there. You could put some gloss drops in there too, and then let it dry, and then it would really like shine like ornaments too. I might need to do that. You can also do that with UV resin. You could put little drops of UV resin and hit it with the light, and you could put, you could put glitter in. There's so many possibilities, guys. You could put glitter in the resin too. The UV resin, drop it in there and then hit it with the light, and then it would harden, and then they'd look like pretty glittery ornaments on your tree. But different possibilities for that. But I just wanted to show you how you can go ahead and change that image to make it simpler to deal with. I always am like, hey, how can I get rid of the teeny tiny pieces? And that was a good example there. So this is my finished open to pop card. And again, I only seen this card done by Srushti Patil. Now, again, she doesn't have a YouTube. She has like reels on Facebook and Instagram and everything, but she does cards by hand and she does amazing. So, and it's a good question. What size is my card? Because I changed the metrics on this. So I'm going to go ahead and save this again. Make sure it's saved. Then I'm going to go to settings. Let's go ahead and switch this canvas back. Oh, and something else I wanted to show you on here too. If you guys noticed, which they're not on here right now, they were on the last version, but when this just updated, the red lines. So it was showing you red lines, which is to align everything. So you would kind of have like, not a bullseye, what's that thing called when you... Anyway, the hatch mark, the X mark, whatever, it's going to show you aligned, which I do like because lots of times I don't have to use the line anymore because the red line up and down will just go ahead and show me when I have it centered. But some people like want to turn those off. They don't like the grid lines on there, but you can turn those off. So you're going to go into settings in the same place, go to your canvas, and then right here, it's the snap to align. You can go ahead and shut that off. But we were in metric. We're going to go back to inches. So we'll choose Imperial. And there we go. This piece is 6 inches. Yeah, so I think this is going to end up being like close to a 5x7 when it's finished. Yep. So that is that card, guys. And Tuesday we will put this together. Oh, the snap to grid was driving you crazy? Yeah, I was, I like that it shows me a line because like when you work in different things like, say Canva or something, it has those lines to show you that you're aligned. But I think it was kind of messing with something. I was having issues dragging images larger and stuff. It would like go little or really big, and it was like those lines I feel like were messing with it because it was trying to align it and then it wouldn't let me. So I think that's probably why it came out, and they're just working on it. But they are handy to have if you don't want to, especially if you're going to be using a line a lot, because it just lets you know you're centered and you don't have to do those extra steps. And then these gingerbread I chose too, just because they were simple. These are only a couple pieces too. And this one didn't have a bow. I went and contoured out his buttons and then put an additional button here and then added a bow. So just went into images and found a bow that was only a couple pieces. And then, so we should be able to build all these. That way these are all layered. The only print and cut will be our pattern pieces and then our middle sentiment. But then everything else will be built by hand. Hi, Diane. So happy you're here. Well, thank you guys. I was excited for this card design, but there's so much you can do with this base. This is just me with the Christmas one, but man, birthday one, wedding, I thought it'd be really cool for a wedding one too. But it's just neat the way it opens, and then these pieces, I'm showing you with my hands like you guys can see me, but I like the way it opens and then these pieces pop open once you lift the top. So Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, we will go ahead and put this together, guys. And again, this will be available to all our Patreons, so you don't have to worry about designing any of this. I will put this card in there, but I will, after I make sure it works. After I make sure it works, I will put it in there. But I will also put just the base with the matting pieces. That way you can turn it into any theme you want to do. So thank you guys. I know we went a little over today. Appreciate you. Appreciate the comments. Thank you to our awesome admins. And don't forget, guys, last day of our giveaway. So make sure you enter that because somebody's getting $200 to pick whatever they want at Cricut.com. And man, especially right now, 50% off materials. There's a whole bunch. Like you can get the 12 by 10 Easy Press 3 for $99 right now. So that $200 will go far. So thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you. I will see you guys on Tuesday night. Right, Diane? That's what I thought too. I was like, oh, I just love this base. And I haven't seen, it's always exciting when you find something you haven't seen done before. And like I was searching Design Space trying to find it, and I really couldn't. So I was really excited. The little pieces I had to finagle, they were just the tough ones, the ones that I came in with the card with, but I worked on those. I didn't do those live because you had to finagle them to get them how you wanted them. But those are key to how it actually moves. So, all right, guys, we will see you on, I almost said Friday. We will see you on Tuesday, guys. Toodles! Happy crafting! Everybody enjoy your weekend. Huh, Lucy says bye. You wake up? She always wakes up at the end of my thing. She takes a nap while I'm live, and then at the end she's like, well, are you done, Mom?